Okay, so sine law, we've done that. Oblique triangles, and we know that we need two sides and an angle, or an angle and two sides. I think I just said the same thing, but you need two sides and an angle and two angles on the side. Okay, cosine law is another law that you can use with oblique triangles. Now sometimes we can't use the sine law. Okay, it's impossible to use the sine law, because remember that sine law, you must have an angle in its opposite side. Okay, so cosine law is used for the other options that you can't use the sine. I always tell my students it's easier to know, right? First thing you're going to look at is a right angle triangle. If it's not, then you're going to remove SOHCAHTOA and Pythagoras, right? If it's an oblique triangle, I would say always eliminate cosine law first, because it's easier to eliminate cosine law. Okay? And then if it's not cosine law, then it's sine. Okay? So what is cosine law? Cosine law states in any oblique triangle, to find side A, it will be a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2 times bc times cosine A. Okay? Now, if I want to find side B, it will be b squared equal a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cosine B. Okay? So you see that if I'm looking for the side B, the cosine is for the angle of that side. And everything else is a squared plus c squared minus 2ac, and then cosine B. What do you think it would be for side C? A squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine C. Okay? Now it's a matter of putting it correctly into your calculator to find the answer. And at the end, you don't want to forget that you have to take the square root, because what you're finding is c squared. So at the end, you have to take that square root to get the length of the side. Okay? When do we use this case? We use this case when we... My 11s, do you remember when?
Two sides.
Two sides.
And
One angle.
Which angle?
The
Contained angle. Okay? So you must have two sides and the angle in between these two sides. If you don't have that case, you can't use this part of the cosine law. Okay? So if you know side, let's say, you know side C, you know side B, and then you know angle A, and you're looking for side A. Okay? And you have to use the first formula. A squared equal b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine angle B. Okay? So you must have the two sides and the angle between them. We call that the contained angle. Now, the other version of the cosine law is when we rearrange it to solve for the angle. Okay? To solve for the angle part. Okay? So when I rearrange, it looks like this. Remember, you don't have to memorize the formulas, because the formulas are available in the classroom and in your bulletin, okay, which I'll be giving that to you. Okay, so no formulas need to be memorized. All right. So, but you have to understand, and you have to know which formula to use. All right. So cosine A, if you're looking for angle A, then it will become b squared plus c squared minus a squared over, that should say 2bc. Okay? Fix that, please, for it to say 2bc. Okay? Can you guys just have an idea of, do you guys have an idea what might the cosine be? squared plus c squared minus b squared over 2ac. Okay? You see that the angle and the letter at the end, they're gonna match. And then cosine c is a squared plus b squared minus c squared over 2ab. When you're done using this formula, you're gonna get a decimal. Okay? In order to find for the angle, you have to do the inverse cosine. Right? To get the angle. Okay? Now, when do I use this case? I use this case if I have all three sides and I'm looking for an angle. Okay, so if I know all three sides, and I'm solving for an angle. And that's why I always say it's easier to tell if it's cosine, because you only have two cases. Okay? All three sides or two sides and the angle between them. Okay? So I just said that. So you know two sides and the contained angle. And then they call it as side angle side, so SAS, side angle side. Okay? Or if you know all three sides, they call it triple S, SSS. Okay? And this is the case when you know side, side, side. If you know how to use your calculator, you should be able to do fine with cosine law. What case do I have here? I'm looking for angle C. I know three sides. So which formula do I use?
Cos C is here plus B.
Cos C. That's right. So cos C equals A squared plus B squared minus C squared over 2AB. Let's go back to labeling our sides. In this case, I'm gonna just rename this as A just to make it easier because we've already used the letters. So that's A, that's B, that's C. It's okay to rename the letters if that makes it easier for you, as long as you rename them and then you use them properly. So let's fill out the values. A is equal to 500. So that's 500 squared plus 650 squared minus 750 squared all over 2 times 500 times 650. Okay. Can I have your attention on the board for it? This is when most students make the mistakes because they don't know how to use the calculator. Okay? So when you're doing this, you have two options. Either find the answer of the top, write it down. Find the answer of the bottom, write it down, and then do the division. Or if you want to enter it all in your calculator, if you have a calculator that does that fraction-wise, that's great. If you don't, you must put brackets around these. Okay? My advice to you if you don't have one of these fancy calculators, do the top, write it down. Do the bottom, write it down, then divide. Okay? So, I need you guys to find the top for me. What do you have? 11,000? Okay, find the bottom for me. $65,000. Okay. Now you're gonna do 11,000 divided by 65,000. What's after the 2? Okay. And the last step I have to do, the inverse. Okay? So I have to do cos inverse of 0.1692. What do I get? It's not 11,000? What is it then?
No, it's one, yeah, that's why.
1,000?
1,000 no, 1,000,
1,100.
Yeah.
So it's 11.
1 0
No,
more.
it's another zero.
Another zero.
Another zero.
Oh.
It's 1,1000.
So this 110,000
Yeah, yeah.
divided by what?
650,000.
So another zero?
Yeah.
Okay.
So really, you found us.
Just check it out for me.
And then what do you get when you do these division?
0.1692.
And then what do you do when you do cos inverse?
That would be 80.2.
So
I'm
80?
gonna say the same answer.
80?
Yeah. Sorry, very few.
Are you guys okay with this? So it's about choosing the right formula, plugging in the information correctly, and using your calculator. Okay? I'm gonna discuss the next question with you. I'm gonna leave you up to it. Okay, I'm gonna leave you to do it. So, and I'll come back and show you this. So an air traffic controller at T is tracking two planes, U and V. Flying at the same altitude, how far apart are the planes? So you have airplane U, you have airplane V, right? They gave you the information. How far apart are they? So what am I solving for? What side? Side T, right? How far apart are they?
Oh, okay.
Right? Oops. Oh, wrong one. Okay? How far apart are they? So I'm solving for side T. Now what information am I given? What do I know?
You have
One angle and how many sides?
One side.
I see
No,
two.
no, two sides.
No, no, two sides, one angle.
I see
Contained
two,
angle.
right? Two sides and then the contained angle, right? What's my contained angle? What is it equal to?
7 divided by 20. No.
What is my contained angle equal to?
98? No.
98?
90.
So
There's 75?
how are you guys getting that? This is my contained angle, right?
Oh, wait.
This is my contained angle,
So it's 52.
52, right? Because my contained angle is 75, take away this from it, right? You guys understand that? So my contained angle is 75, take away 23, which is 52. Okay? So you have triangle, two sides, and the contained angle. I would like you to solve for side t. Go ahead and use the correct formula.
So forget about 70%.